I've done it again. I have done it again. I have successfully managed to do the entire introduction without volume. I've got to learn. It's a good job it's only the first couple of days. I will get used to this. So let's start again. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me for the live lessons. I am going to be doing things on reflection today, and we should have some live lessons. Hopefully you've been getting some good lessons online with your schools, and hopefully this will help with your maths learning as well. So we're going to go straight into the lesson because obviously I've already wasted your time while you couldn't hear me. Sorry about that. Please forgive me. I'm such a noob. Such a noob. I try and get it all sorted. I was getting quite good by the summer. I know I've been doing all sorts of other things. I've forgotten what I'm doing. So I will try and be a bit better over the next few weeks. I'll get used to pressing that unmute button. It's very important. So what I need to do is go. We've done the introduction. Let's go straight into the PowerPoint presentation here, and you should be able to see a puzzle for you while I say some hellos. Right, hello. Remember, when you're saying hello in the chat, please do make sure that you put your name so I know who I'm saying hello. Hello to Maria. Hello to Amelie and Archie. Hello, Isaac Sharp. Good afternoon to you all. Hello to Alvi. Hello to Jessica. Hello to Eddie. Hello to Alice Jones Evans. Hello to I forget what letter I'm supposed to say. N as well for anonymous. I hope you can all hello from Jack. It was Jack. I feel sorry, Alice Jones. It was Jack. Sorry, Jack. Right. So who's got an idea? I can't see. I'm looking through the guesses online. For anyone's in the live chat, I should have got some water, shouldn't I? So I was right. Any ideas? What has an eye but no nose? No one listens to it, but it makes a good point. Any ideas? I'm going to give it a few more seconds before I give the game away. If you've got any ideas beforehand, try and put it in the comments below the video. If you're watching this later date, be the first person to put the correct answer in there. What has an eye but no nose? No one listens to it, but it makes a good point. Any ideas? Remember, this is not knowledge. This is not who knows the answer. Think of something. What has an eye? I know a few. An alien. No one listens to it. Does an alien make a good point? Excellent answer, Mr. Sharp. Isaac was the first one. A pencil is a good one as well, I think. But we would say needles because you thread your thread through the eye of the needle. A needle has a little hole in it called the eye of the needle. So well done, very well done today to Isaac. First correct answer I saw. Very good. So hopefully with today, we're going to be talking about reflecting. We're going to talk about symmetry and then something about solutions as well. So there you go. That's a picture of me when I was looking much younger. It's not really me. Just a slightly startled baby, I think. Right. So first thing we're going to talk about is lines of symmetry. Lines of symmetry exist in shapes when you've got a shape that's exactly the same on one side and the other. So for example, when I've got paper has a couple of lines of symmetry because I can draw a dotted line down the middle there, or I can draw a dotted line across there. I'm going to talk more about rectangles in a minute. Any shape where it's the same on both sides is said to have a line of symmetry, and we draw that with a ruler and a dotted line. Now, your task if you've downloaded the worksheet already, you'll know your task is to go through all the letters I've given you on the alphabet and draw in the mirror lines of each capital letter I've given you. To be a mirror, it has to be the same on both sides. It has to have exactly the same. A good way of doing it is to turn it. Is it exactly the same? If you line it up and the mirror line is down where your nose would be, is it the same on that side for that eye as it is on that side for that eye? So let's have a look at what I'm talking about. Let's take myself away. We should now be able to see a big letter A. And I think the letter A has one line of symmetry. We call this one line of symmetry. And here it is. It goes up the middle and you can see on the left hand side is exactly the same as the right hand side. So you would draw that line on your A. If you're doing the worksheet, you're absolutely right. In fact, N, not only does it have a trillion, it has infinite, a circle. He's talking about in the live chat, he's talking about circles. Circles have infinite because there is so many billions and billions and billions of different points you can do for a circle. Now just check. I don't know if the O in your worksheet is a circle or if it's slightly oval, which will change the answer. Okay, so your task, the first task you'll have in the worksheet when you download it at the end, is to draw all letters. I've done 2 more for you, look. Here's a B. And I think, give or take, that's roughly a mirror line for the B. You can see, if you turn your heads, it's roughly the same on both sides. Now, I know the font makes it slightly different, but pretty much it's the same on both sides. The worksheet is always in the description below the video if you're looking for it. So Cookies and Cream, if you're looking for the worksheet, you always look in the description. There's a link you click on and it will take you straight to the worksheet for you. Okay? And then, look at F. I don't think F has a line of symmetry because I've tried to put it in lots of places. I tried to put it in the middle, I tried to put it at the top, and it doesn't reflect itself. It's not the same either up and down, left and right, top to bottom. We have to say it has to be the same on both sides, and F is an unusual shape because it's not. So we can't put a line of symmetry in it. So what you would do under that one is just write no lines of symmetry. Now, I wanted to talk to people about, some people say there's a diagonal line in a rectangle, but look what happens. If I try and have a diagonal line here, can you see the green is the rectangle and the pink bit is what would happen if we were to reflect across that line? And it helps here if you turn your eyes slightly sideways, and you will see, once that line is in line with your nose, that the pink bit matches to the green bit on the left hand side. So actually, although it looks like it's going to be a line of symmetry, it isn't a line of symmetry because they don't match. Okay, so we're looking for lines of symmetry to make sure it matches on both sides. Remember, especially if you're not doing this live, because the live people might want to watch the whole video because they want to stay and continue getting involved. If you're not watching this live, feel free to pause at any point. If you want to go and do half of the worksheet or do bits of the worksheet as you're going along, that's fine as well. So, that's the first bit of the worksheet you're going to have to do, is draw mirror lines. If you wanted to stop and do that now, that's up to you. Okay, but if you're staying live and you want to stay with me, I'm going to do a little bit of explanation about completing mirrors. Now, to do so, I'm going to take us elsewhere. Where are you going to take us, Mr. Harris? Well, I'm going to take us to my whiteboard, because as you know, I like to explain myself with drawings. I love doing little drawings. Now, when you've got a shape, and I'm going to draw this, which is thematic. If we ever get any snow, which we're stuck indoors, so hopefully we won't get any this year, but here you might be able to work out what this is going to be. However, I think it can be deceptive, because you might think, this is obviously going to be a snowman. You have to be very careful, because when we are doing reflecting to the other side, everything we've got gets reflected. And look what happens if I group everything together and I copy and paste it, so I've got another one, but then flip it over using my reflection, and look, it's not bad, but it's not quite what we might have thought. It's got 2 scarves. You have to be very careful when you're doing your reflections that the scarf and the things, everything is exactly the same on both sides. You can't have one bit on one side that doesn't get reflected. Now, the other thing I like to do is try and do them diagonally, because diagonal ones are much harder to do. Now, if I start with my diagonal line, it's interesting to me, if you've got paper and pencil in front of you, write down draw what you think this will look like in the reflection. What do you think that reflection will look like? And then pause the video if you're taking time to do so. And then when you finish, let's see, were you right? Well, I've copied it and I'm going to reflect it. But then I'm going to have to rotate it as well. And there should be a way of me doing that. If I can rotate it 90 degrees, it should be something not too dissimilar to that. Is that what you'd predicted? Is that what you guessed it would be, or did you have something different? Because if you turn your eyes so that your nose lines up with the line, make the line line up with your nose, you will see it's the same on both sides. It looks a little bit like some sort of alien butterfly ghost thing. If you turn your head on the side, you'll notice I forgot my camera was on me here, so you can actually see me turning my head to the side and looking at the mirror line. So you can play around with different ones. What I've done is I've designed you some masks. So hopefully we're coming back. Here is the first mask. This is my robot mask I've designed for you. And what you need to do is complete the robot mask by reflecting it. But remember, not only does everything have to be exactly the same size on the other side, it has to be in the same position. So you need to try and make the gaps the same as well. You can't put it too close to the line and you can't put it too far away from the line. A good method of doing it here is to measure using a ruler how far away is the circle from the line and then measure that far away again. Measure the circle and try and make sure your new circle is the same, or maybe find a coin or something that's the same size as the circle so you can do it again and copy it. You'll see my robot has a little aerial. You'll be able to add things to your shape, your masks as well, because as well as a normal mask, you've got two masks I'm asking you to draw. A robot mask, where you finish my one, but then your own masks. I want to see your masks. Get them sent to me on the Facebook group by your parents or your carers or whoever looks after you. Get them sent in to my email. I'll put that back up in a second. In fact, you can see me here. Hello. You can see my email and stuff. Is it there? It's there. It's one side. You've got all my information there, so you can see who to email. If you've got a photo of your masks, maybe even being worn, if you find a way of fastening it around or holding it up in front of your face, don't forget to colour it in, but make sure it's symmetrical. Because these are reflection masks, they're symmetrical. So you've got to make sure they're the same on both sides. And look, I did that. This is what it looks like. Looks like, I don't know if any of you have ever seen Doctor Who. It might not be something that you guys like, but I like Doctor Who, and this looks a bit like a Cyberman, I think, which worries me. It makes me slightly scared. Okay, so you're going to do that, and then you're going to draw your own mask. So they're all in the chat below. So that's 2 types of reflection. But Mr. Harris, there's only 2 types of reflection. There's no more reflection. Oh, yes, there is. Oh, no, there isn't. Oh, yes, there is. I'm having a little argument with myself there. Okay, so let's get myself out of the way. Let's have a look at this. Can anyone put in the chat or think to yourself and write down, if you're doing this later, what is wrong with this question and answer? I pose that this is a question from a maths book, and the red is the answer given to me by a student. What's wrong with it? Is anything wrong with it? This is called reflecting. We are reflecting, not reflecting using a mirror, but we're thinking about whether our answer is a good answer. We're not just assuming it's right or wrong. We're thinking about whether our answer is good. Alfie, why are you sad? Oh, you got snow in Edinburgh at the moment. Oh, it's a shame, because I think you're not allowed out at the moment, are you? It's a real shame. Right, anyone spotted anything wrong with this answer? And here's something you might be surprised by. It is the right answer, but they haven't answered the question. Let's reflect properly. Reflecting on a question means reading it when we finished it. So you do the question, you do the answer, then you read the question again. That's reflecting. Have I answered the question? It says, 4 students in the class want to go to the caves. 21 say the zoo, and the others say the cheese factory. If there are 30 pupils, do more than 3 want to go to the cheese factory? It should have a question mark on the end, shouldn't it? Do more than 3 want to go to the cheese factory? And the person who's done the answers has said, the answer is 4 plus 21 is 25, and 30 take away 25 is 5 students for the cheese factory. But they've never, you're absolutely right, N. At no point have they said whether more than 3 want to go to the cheese factory. They should say at the end, there should be a final bit saying 5 students for the cheese factory, 5 is more than 3, so yes, more than 3 want to go to the cheese factory. You always have to answer the question fully. This is also called reflection. As well as reflecting in mirrors and finding lines of symmetry, as well as continuing reflections by using a dot, looking down the mirror line and doing the same on the other side, our third type of reflection today is reflecting on, have we answered the question? So you're absolutely right, Cookies and Cream. A good answer would be yes. 5 people want to go to the cheese factory. So that's how we improve our answers. When you're doing your answers for your teachers at school, this is a good way to improve it, by making sure you read the question again and think, have I answered the question properly here? So what are you going to do now? Hopefully you're going to complete the reflections worksheet, which has got your alphabet to draw mirror lines on, and make some reflection masks. Remember, if you want to push yourself, the more complicated the mask, the more you get to practice reflection, the more you get to practice and get yourself better. It needs to be the same distance from the mirror line and as neat as you can, the same shapes. But try and, if you want to, fold them. Here's a trick. Fold the mask in half and check whether they line up with each other. It's a great way of doing it. So, remember there's a Taskmaster task. We've still got till the weekend. I want to see your positive posts. I've had a few brilliant ones already. Be lovely to have a few more. So that is the end of today's lesson. We've got people in the chat already done with their poster. Can't wait to see them. So hopefully there's lots for you to get on with now. You've got a task to print out and carry on with. That is the end of today's lesson. Hopefully it's been interesting and fun. I've been Mr. Harris. Guess what? You haven't. Take care of yourself. Look after yourself. And I will see you next week. Ask your parents to look on the Facebook group where I'll be putting up the calendar for next week. And your lessons will stay on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1:30. See you later. Goodbye.